of the Tory party.
And with distinctive Nazi ties.
Well, he's married into the Astor family, and that Astor family historically was sympathetic to the Nazi movement.
And Prime Minister Ted Heath was being compromised. Well, he was covertly gay and doing the boys in the bum, as I'm told.
That is what many of us believe, that Ted Heath was not the gentleman he was presented to the British public. He was in fact an extremely perverted man with links through to the Nazi movement, and he attended the 1936 Olympic Games, and again I think I'm correct in saying he sat about 4 rows behind Hitler, which shows that there was some known connection between Ted Heath and the Nazi movement.
In the Night of Long Knives, did not Hitler eliminate the huge homosexual population that was in the SS?
Well, he did, and they were either eliminated at the time or they were given pink badges and sent to the concentration camps. So for the gay movement in both the US and the UK at the moment, they're in a very vulnerable and dangerous position, because I believe that this fascist Marxist movement will in fact turn on them.
So the Nazization of this nation is really a continuation of the policies of Adolf Hitler, not through war, but rather through treaty. And we have the schematic once laid out by Hitler for a European Union come into full force with the Lisbon Treaty, and Cameron, again with an association through the Astors back to the Nazis, is calling for an acceptance of the unacceptable without any referendum. And then we see in the beginning, the paper that you hold in your hand, Britain, the end. And what is it? The referendum say, Tories, Britain, the end. The Lisbon Treaty becomes law. We've been sold down the river, and at the top of the building of the Parliament we have the EU's flag. It might as well be the Nazi swastika. Why has this been accomplished without the objection of the British people?
Because the attack on the British people this time has not been with guns or bullets or bombs. It's been done by psychological warfare, and that is a critical part of the Nazi document, of the Nazi military doctrine, and it is a critical part of the communist doctrine, that the way to win over Western powers is by infiltration and subversion and destroying the fabric of the society within. And this is why we have seen over 30 or more years in UK the slow crumbling away of our infrastructure. Our industry is gone. Our schools are teaching nothing. We have no respect for institutions. We have drunks on the streets. We have children being taken away from their parents. And all of these policies have been implemented by both the so-called Socialist Labour Party and the more right-wing Conservative Party. They are in fact two sides of the same coin.
So we're seeing the Nazization of the nation. We're seeing the prostitution of our people. We're seeing them systematically enslaved. But one thing comes to mind. Slavery cannot exist without the acceptance of the slaves. Now the British Constitution Party is drafting a constitution.
Well, one can never go right by going wrong. One can never travel from where we are to where we plan to get if we do not do something.
Will those who have sold out our liberties be allowed, with the new document, to vote on it? And if so, wouldn't they just let it expire as they have the sovereignty of this nation?
Well, the point is, these people have given away sovereignty and the right of this government, the right of this nation to govern itself. They've given it away. But the fact they've missed is that in giving those powers away, they've actually given their own powers to govern away. And that means that it is now perfectly acceptable, indeed it's right, that the British people take back the government of themselves, for themselves. So we simply need to build a new government system alongside this corrupt Liberal Democrat, Labour, Conservative con.
Then your vote for the Constitution of Britain has to be set in motion apart and aside from the system that you have where they can manipulate the vote, massage it, where they can propagandize the people to accepting again the tyranny that you now face.
To fight these people, you have to understand the methods by which they work. And they have attacked us, they have nearly destroyed us by using techniques of subversion, infiltration, subversion, socio-political, economic warfare. We have seen the deliberate dismantlement of Great Britain from the inside. Now, once you understand that, you start to see it, and many people now approach the British Constitution group and they say, we've woken up, we can see it, we can see that these people are traitors, we can see that they have deliberately destroyed the country and weakened the population to allow them to install a dictatorship.
The people that you have working within the Constitution group are doing investigations into the criminal activities of those who have made this happen and who have been behind the scenes for so long, surrendering the sovereignty.
Yes.
Will they then, or will you then, not call for their imprisonment for acts of high treason, as you did in this conference on the 31st of October in London?
Yep. We are doing that, and we will continue to do that. We already have groups of people who have gone to police stations around the country with the documentary evidence of treason, and we are calling for our politicians to be brought to book, to be tried for crimes of high treason.
If you liked what Hitler did, you would certainly love what Blair and Bush was spelling, and you would certainly like what Obama and Brown are about to do. They want to kill you. See, this isn't a question mark. This is a reality. I'm saying it is a reality. They want to kill you on the Georgia Guidestones, which is America's Stonehenge. They've got something in stone, written in stone. It says we want to reduce the population of the earth. We want to do away with the useless eaters, because a man is black. He's without bounds to them. My children are neither white nor black. They're the human race.
We know they're worried about this, because that is why Tony Blair in particular spent so much time in trying to remove the treason laws from our Constitution.
Well, hasn't Brown been advocating Blair to be head of the
Because they are just
neo-Nazi
EU?
EU?
Absolutely, because they are partners in crime. And it's quite obvious that when they first came into Parliament, they were a double act to deceive the public. Brown was never elected to the position of Prime Minister. He was